Diop Harris II. I am running to be your next congressperson, to be your next representative for Michigan's 4th Congressional District, and I'm running to give a voice to the people. I've worked on campaigns here in the Midwest and in battleground districts. I've worked on Capitol Hill for one of the greatest senators. I've got that experience, but I've also got the lived experience of being born and raised here in this district, being from Battle Creek, understanding that we have communities that go underinvested in. I want to go to DC, be your representative to ensure that our communities not only survive, but can thrive with the added investments coming from the federal level, and I'm looking to do that for our people. First off, we can start off by having an operational congressional office that is open to the public. We should have staff that are intaking requests, whether that be opinions about legislative matters, requests for help receiving SBA funds, Social Security funds, or if folks would like to introduce a new piece of legislation. We need to have people who are not only staff, but are involved in our communities, and I plan to open an office that's going to be that involved. We can have town halls. I'm doing that right now on the campaign trail, engaging with the communities in candidate forums and hosting our own digital town halls so that folks have that availability and access no matter where they are in the district. And so we need a member of Congress that not only is going to work on behalf of the people, but is going to work with the people and ensure that their voices are heard. Again, we're going to have the office open, but one thing that I want to put a particular focus on is congressionally directed spending. Every lawmaker in Congress has a specific pot of money to where they can spend that in their district in a focused manner. And with those requests of the past, lawmakers tended to deal out funds based on who was politically favorable at the moment. I want any and everyone in the district to be able to submit a CDS request. And so we'll do that in a transparent manner. We'll publish all of our requests and we'll let folks know which of those were rewarded. That can be a way that my own office can open up transparency in terms of government spending, but then we can also pass bills at the congressional level to ensure that the entire body is being as transparent. We can look at matters of campaign ethics reform. We can pass the For the People Act. There's a ton of work to be done, but we need lawmakers that understand that it is a problem and are going to work on it with the intensity and the fierce urgency of now. Well, before I'm a candidate, I'm a voter, I'm a constituent in this district, and so we not only need folks to understand what we're going, we need more lawmakers that understand what we're going through and have a fighting interest in it. I'm a ratepayer just as much as the voters I'm asking to vote for me. So I am going to be holding, utility companies accountable because it is something that my family is facing, high energy rates. I believe that we've empowered lawmakers and politicians who don't have a rooted interest in our own communities. That won't be the case for me. I'm someone that is a lifelong member of the Nottawassippi here. I'm Bandit of Potawatomi, someone that's been a resident of Southwest Michigan since before Michigan was Michigan. So I think that voters can see that I have a genuine tie to this community, and more voters are looking for folks who are unabashedly of their communities. So we're the richest country in the history of the earth. We do not have enough resources. We just need to be able to distribute them more evenly. So in terms of housing, we have tons of properties, availability of opportunities to unlock. Look no further than downtown. We have vacant office buildings, sometimes vacant for years, if not decades. What we can do is reformat, repurpose those into things that our communities actually need, such as be able to serve our unhoused population. Why can't we turn some buildings into living situations for folks while also be able to provide those wraparound services like mental health counseling, like substance abuse, and like providing employment resources? I think we can do that right now. We just need lawmakers that care enough to do something about it. That's just one of those examples on housing, but we have a bipartisan open window in Congress right now with a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate and action on the House side. So we have an open window. We just need enough folks who are willing to carry that mission forward. True community security is full fridges, our opportunities abound. And I haven't met a person who was willing to commit a crime who had all of their needs met. But I've seen, folks like moms being sent to prison and jail for stealing baby formula. I think that we need to reverse that dynamic. We need to ensure that folks have their needs met. Let's start with ensuring that folks have a safe route to go to and from school. Let's reduce, harm and provide pathways for at-risk, children to go down different paths. Let's ensure that folks are able to afford groceries, are able to afford their light and rent bills so that people aren't taking other routes. So I think that we need to put our focus there on making ends meet, making sure that needs are met, and we can see our communities become safer that way. We need to bring more opportunities back home, and I think we can do that by focusing on green energy production. Here in our district, we have research firms abound, production facilities, and people willing to do the work. There just is not the financial incentive model for that. When I go to Congress, I want to utilize the Defense Production Act so that we can put our people to work. We have places like Western Michigan's Aviation College, which is ranked top 2, not 2 in some folks' eyes. At the same time, we have a pilot and mechanic shortage. Why not put people to work right now? Let's double down on our facilities that we have and ensure that we can train those pilots and mechanics of the future and empower the rest of the nation. We need lawmakers, again, that understand these are problems to solve and are going to work with that intensity to get them done. We have tons of ways that we can address poverty. At the federal level, we are currently experiencing cuts that would lift up the social safety net and protect folks, such as SNAP, on Medicaid. Right now, we can put members of Congress in that body that will fight for those things, such as myself here in the 4th District and across other districts in Michigan. That's a start, but I think we can go much further than that. We have a lot of needs to be met in our community. Why not put people to work and have folks make a living doing that? We need roads to be paved. We need kids to be taken care of. From the federal government, we can provide that financial incentive model so that the jobs that need to be done here in our communities are being taken care of, and at the same time, people can make their get their needs met. So we need folks that understand that, truly want to make a difference in folks' lives and are connected to those people. I come from a working class background. I was born into a household that had a $30 monthly disposable income, so I understand what it means to run on tight margins, and I'm going to fight for those folks and make sure they have a voice heard in Washington. means getting deep into communities. You know, we can reach other communities by not just extending the invite to come to our events, but going deep into communities and going to their events. You know, so it's not just going to the NAACP meeting, but it's going to the Juneteenth celebration. It's going to the family cookouts. So we can do a lot better job as public servants, understanding the needs of our community members, and then fighting for those in our positions of power. And I'm doing that right now on the campaign trail, meeting community members where there are outside of political environments, and that's what it's going to take for communities' needs to be met. Right now, it is true, folks' visions of the future are going overlooked. That's not going to be the case on our campaign and when we're eventually able to take office. Right now, we have a team built of folks who were born in our district, who have a rooted interest in what happens in our communities, and that's something that we've had a lack of. And so that's going to be the winning recipe to ensure that folks actually do go heard. We've got a lot of work to do. You know, I think it being America's 250th birthday is a reminder to folks that democracy is an active job to maintain. It can't be something that we revere from history books, but something that we are actively participating in, whether that's ensuring that your neighbors can vote, whether it's going to your city commission meeting to ensure that laws are reflective of what's actually happening. But people need to step up in this moment, and our democracy is at a pivotal point, and it could be put in no starker terms than we are at a crisis point, and there's no other solution than us Americans, the people, standing up and taking our democracy back. I would be, frank with folks. It certainly does feel like, your voice doesn't matter. And it has caused folks to be disillusioned with the system and to not participate, which only creates this vicious cycle of the folks who want to take advantage being able to do so. Well, I say to folks, well, step up. Let's change that dynamic. Let's ensure that people's voice is heard by showing up, something that hasn't happened in our community for a long time. I understand we don't have the practice and the imagination of it, but this is the sort of fight and the stakes that our ancestors had, 250 years ago at the birth of this nation, 60 years ago, fighting for civil rights, and it's our moment right now. We can change our communities if we want it and fight for it. That's the challenge. I'm stepping up as a part of my candidacy, and that's how we ensure our voices are heard. It's happened time and time again, and we can do it now. We just have to be willing to do it. Yeah, we are building an operation that is 6 county-wide because every mile matters. We are trying to reach out to every voter in this district, but we can only do so with your help. If you're interested in joining our movement in Southwest Michigan, go to diop4mi.com to learn how you can be a part of our movement and ensure that we can flip this district and have some new representation on Capitol Hill. And remember that democracy is our power.